I like the rhymes.
All of us are born with the miraculous ability to determine the direction from which sounds approach us.
Let us venture into new and
Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be another video that I'm doing for Inspired Atelier, or The Art of Living Earth. Again, just a great curated website, which I'm going to link to in the description. It is owned by my friend Mindy Yang, who I've gone back with for just some time. An amazing nose, really the mind behind Min New York, and the person who was responsible for bringing in so many of their amazing brands. And besides having just an amazing selection of items on that website, there's a great selection of fragrances from really sort of esoteric, smaller niche and indie brands. And one of those brands is called One of Those. And One of Those is an Italian perfume house that used to be called Nubi, N-U, and sort of _BE. And if you're interested in any of these, where we talk about them, just know that you can grab samples of these on the site, $5 for a sample, or 100 ml eau de parfum bottles go for $110. So just super moderate pricing for niche perfume. And before we run through 4 of these real quickly, let's talk a little bit about One of Those. One of Those is actually the first project from a brand called Fluid Ounce, which is a newer fragrance manufacturer with headquarters in Parma, Italy. And basically what they're trying to do is make use of master perfumers for the interpretation of new and exciting perfume elements inspired by the origins of the cosmos. Now, as far as One of Those goes, they currently have 8 scents in that collection. The first one was released in 2012, and the latest was released in 2016. And so we're going to run through 4 of them quickly. So the first one I got to check out is called Helium. And Helium was done by Sylvie Fisher. Not really familiar with her work. She does have a fair amount of fragrances under her belt. And this one did come out in 2012. It was inspired by the idea of hot air balloons and smoke. Obviously, helium is one of the elements people use when they let a balloon deflate and they sort of inhale the air and speak like a munchkin. That's obviously what helium is. Notes on the helium fragrance are bergamot, iris, damask, rose, benzoin, styrax, cinnamon, guaiac wood, clary sage, tobacco, vetiver, and patchouli. And when I sprayed this one on, I was immediately reminded of quite a few fragrances. So this is one where if you like Ambre Narguilé by Hermes, the Hermescence line, or you like Ojan by Parfum de Marly, or even Dolce Le Cire by L'Abrio, then you will like this one, because to me it is sort of a reproduction of Ambre Narguilé. What I get out of this one personally is cinnamon, tobacco, benzoin, and woods. Something in that combination gives the feel of like an apple pie baking spices minus the apple. It's really nice. This is a lot more affordable than Ambre Narguilé, even than Ojan. It also has a nice transparency to it that many of these different fragrances from this brand have. So this one's quite nice, and I think if you like any of those fragrances, this one will definitely be in your wheelhouse. The next one we're going to talk about is called Hydrogen. And yes, guys, by the way, these are all named after elements. Hydrogen was done in 2012 as well, but this one was done by Antoine Lay. I'm very familiar with his work. He's done a lot of stuff for Comme des Garçons. He's done fragrances for Italie Bredon Orange, Giorgio Armani, for Pharrell Williams, etc. And what he had to say about this one is, hydrogen to me is the element of energy. That's why my fragrance is so sparkling. Hydrogen is the origin of everything, explosion of essential elements, touches of spices, woods, musks, vanilla, musks, accords, beginning of sensuality and sexuality. So the official notes on this one are aldehydes, musk, woods, basil, oak moss, melon, mandarin orange, spices, vanilla, and jasmine. And for me, I think out of the 4, this is the most interesting and novel of the group. So there's a big overdose of aldehydes in this one. some green notes in this one. You're going to get basil, you're going to get melon. There is a slug of mandarin orange. It's cooling. It's a little bitter and dirty as well. I can't really, there's not a lot of fragrances I could compare this one to, but I would say if you like the sort of stuff that Comme des Garçons is familiar with, is known for, then this one might be up your alley. It's sort of cooling and sparkling and a little bit dirty. It's very nice as well. Oxygen is the next one up. This one was also done in 2012, and Antoine Lee also made this fragrance as well. And this was sort of his idea of an oxygenated wood. It's called steamy and refreshing at the same time, more complete than oxygen itself. I thought liquid oxygen, which you put in pressurized woods, then everything is boiling and you put your nose on it, and there it is, a scent you cannot either catch, neither capture, but that is in the air all around you. So the notes on this one are woods, saffron, labdanum, pepper, aldehydes, musk, and vetiver. And this one, again, smells a lot like it could have been a Comme des Garçons scent. It's like, they have Wonderwood, and this is definitely in that vein. It's super peppery and woodsy, clean, cold. Definitely is what I would think about when I think about like the word oxygen. It just sort of seems like cooling to me. This one is almost sterile. It's crisp. It's not something I completely love, to be honest, but it's interesting. It actually, more than Comme des Garçons, now that I'm smelling this one again, it reminds me of something Eccentric Molecules could have put out. It's woody, spicy, dry. It's nice, but I don't know that this is anything you haven't smelled a few times before in those sort of more experimental avant-garde lines. It's a scent that's going to be really a break it down about pepper, woods, labdanum, and aldehyde, and it also has sort of a cold vibe. The last one I'm getting to look at in this collection is called Curium. And Curium did come out last year, so 2016, from Parfumée Evelyne Boulanger. She also has worked for Comme des Garçons. She's worked for Armani, L'Artisan, Van Cleef & Arpels. And the notes on this one are pepper, red berries, cinnamon, ambre, iris, orris root, violet, patchouli, tonka, vetiver, benzoin, and musk. Now, I really like this one. This is the most unique and substantial of the four. It's got a really nice powdery iris note in there, and there's also violet and berries and tonka. There's some sort of ionone in this fragrance, whether it's alpha ionone or beta ionone or ionone alpha, but something in here to give it that powdery iris violet berry accord. This one is very likable. If you like iris, I think you'll like this one. It's something you've never smelled before. Probably it's not that, but it's still not super reminiscent of anything else, and it's a nice performer. It's well done, super powdery. I wish there was a little bit more to it, because the iris really is a little bit overwhelming, and it's kind of like that ionone note dominated everything else. But it's really nice, and I think people who do appreciate like that iris violet sort of accord will really enjoy this one as well. So, I mean, just a super interesting line, not stuff you smell every day. Good price point, 110. These all perform really well on the skin. The packaging's really cool and sort of minimalist. Definitely check this line out. I'm going to link to Inspired Atelier in the description, and I'll be doing a video next week, a quick take on a super niche Italian fragrance that I hope you guys like, and then hopefully, we can keep these going. Mindy and I can work on some other stuff in the future. If you guys hopefully are enjoying these and these sort of more lines you don't really see other reviewers talk about, because you guys know how much I like talking about stuff no one else is. So again, I will link to Inspired Atelier. It's an amazing website. Check it out. You can spend a lot of time just looking at the really cool things curated on the site. And I, of course, will be back later this week with some more videos for you guys. I want to thank you all so much for checking in. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys again real soon. My name, obviously, is Maximilian, and I must know. Peace, guys.
People get shook up, when I'm introduced as God.
Energetic, poetic, and athletic. know I get down and dirty when it's time to set it.